Hey everybody, welcome to my channel and welcome back to the speed build video. Today I am building 3 different rooms in the cottagecore aesthetic. So I'm gonna read the description of the aesthetics Wikipedia page because it does a better job at explaining it than I probably will. So it says, cottagecore is an aesthetic inspired by a romanticized interpretation of Western agricultural life. It centers on ideas around a more simple life and harmony with nature. Specific themes associated are the survival of the environment, food, and caring for people. So I basically made a whole Pinterest board for the aesthetic, and it's basically like a country, rustic, old-fashioned kind of vibe with a lot of plants and flowers everywhere. Just the entire room littered in plants and flowers. A little bit farmhouse, a little bit cottage, a little bit fairy tale as well. It has some whimsical vibes. Definitely like your grandma's house, probably. And that mixed in with just a lot of plants and nature and all of that. So that's what you see me doing here. I have some rustic looking furniture. There is flower patterns on the walls, even though you can't really see it. And then there were also a lot of shelves in the pictures, and those were also, you know, littered with plants. So I did that as well. Shelves with plants, bedside tables with plants, a lot of sunflowers, coincidentally, which are my favorite flowers. So that was definitely a bonus. So the first room you see me creating right now is the bedroom. I definitely tried to make the rooms a little bit smaller this time than when I did the Dark Academia house or rooms, because it's kind of centered around cottages and those are usually smaller. So I didn't want to make the rooms too big, also not too small, because I didn't want to like decorate and make sure I had a couple different furniture and functions in the rooms. I think cottagecore is definitely very base game friendly, so if you don't have any packs, this might be an easy aesthetic to achieve because there is a lot of country inspired old rustic looking furniture in the base game. I did end up using a couple of packs. Probably cats and dogs is really good for the country vibes, and then also laundry day might be good for some stuff. But I also used, I think the majority of the furniture I used is actually base game, so this could easily be converted into a base game build. I decided to put a dresser in the bedroom, as you see me doing now, and also, again, putting a lot of plants on the dresser, as you'll see me do to every single surface in this video. If you want something a little bit more functional, especially in the game, you might want to put a desk there instead with a computer, but I think this fitted in with the aesthetics much better than that would have done, although it is less functional because who really uses dressers? Are there people who use dressers to go into Create a Sim? Because I never do. I always just cheat my way into Create a Sim. I don't know if anybody actually uses the dressers and the closets for that purpose. I don't think I've ever done that. So for the art on the wall, I definitely couldn't fully achieve the aesthetic because in the pictures that I saw on Pinterest, there were usually like little prints of like drawings of flowers and different kinds of plants, and I really like them, but we do not have that in The Sims at all. So I just ended up putting different kinds of paintings on the wall. On the left side, I just put this collage of paintings that don't really have anything to do with the cottagecore aesthetics themselves, like the actual content of the pictures, but I did really like the cluttered look of it. I think that fit really well. And then on the other side of the wall, I tried to find some pictures and arts that had like plants and flowers and birds, even like anything to do with nature. But that's pretty much it for the first room. The bedroom is done, and the second room I am creating is a kitchen. This might possibly be the best kitchen I've ever created. At least it might be my favorite kitchen I've ever created. I think I was pretty creative with the what are those called? Cabinets and shelvings. You see me create like different layers of cabinets and shelves here, and I really liked how that turned out. Also, I don't think I've ever made a kitchen this cluttered. To the point where actually, when I reviewed the footage, I went back in game just to see if there was actually counter space that was usable, because I cluttered up this kitchen so much. Usually I'm like already 2 hours into a build and like I did the whole outside, and I really don't have the energy anymore to clutter up these rooms as much. But it does look better when you clutter them up. So I really like doing these room builds because it gives me the energy, the time and space to really put in all these details, which makes it look very lived in, like someone is actually using the space. I feel like sometimes Sims houses kind of look, when they're not cluttered enough at least, they kind of look like showrooms. Like this is a house that is meant to be sold or display some kind of furniture, instead of a house that is meant for like living in, like someone is actually currently living in this space. So that's what I really liked about this kitchen, because it looks lived in. I tried to put in a lot of plants again. That's the theme of this video, but then also some like old-fashioned looking items. I put like a collection of tea and a teapot, because I saw a lot of tea in the pictures as well. I don't know what that has to do with the aesthetic, but I guess tea is just aesthetically pleasing on its own. And I also put some pots and pans on the counter, because the aesthetic does kind of revolve around like homemade food and like, you know, like natural ingredients and baking and that sort of stuff. So I put that in as well, along with some really like grandma house looking containers with like spatulas and stuff that are really cute, very country vibe. Also has sunflowers on it, so that's great. I put some cookbooks there, and probably my favorite thing in this kitchen is I put like a picnic basket with silverware in the corner. That might like be the most cottagecore item that we have in The Sims, so I'm really glad I was able to incorporate it. And I think the final touch is that I put a little display case of some baked goods, which also fits really well with the aesthetic. Again, I really like this picture. I think kitchen. I like this kitchen. I think I did a good job of like really going all out and using a ton of items. I just really like the vibes. I do end up going back and changing the table to a lighter brown, because I think I made at least the kitchen a little too dark for this aesthetic. I think it looked better when I had some light furniture in there as well. And then the final touch is I put some more plants, because I guess the rule of this aesthetic is if you think you have enough plants, add 3 more. Final room is the bathroom. Just like last time, I challenged myself to make a dark academia kitchen, because that was what seems least likely to be dark academia style, and I wanted to challenge myself to create a room that doesn't really lend itself to the aesthetic. This time I'm creating a bathroom, because the kitchen actually lends itself to the aesthetic very well, because it's centered around that kind of like food and baking and cooking, natural rustic vibes that work really well in a kitchen. But bathrooms, aesthetically pleasing bathrooms, those are just hard in general. I feel like I always neglect my bathrooms. I never really do anything special with bathrooms. I just put in the essentials and I'm like, maybe a toilet roll and a towel rack and I'm out of here. But this time I really tried to make this aesthetically pleasing, and you see me struggling here so much. Like I had no idea how to put an aesthetic into a bathroom, but I did end up achieving it. At least I think so. I think it's really hard to make bathroom appliances blend into a room, so I really went all out with the decorations just to kind of overwhelm just the kind of normal looking bath shower combination. So I put a bunch of plants on the counters, also shelves. Again, shelves are a big thing in cottagecore, at least according to Pinterest. So again, putting shelves both above the sink area with more plants, and also above the toilets I ended up putting shelves with more plants. Surprisingly, also ended up putting in a couple bathroom essentials like toothbrushes and soap and different kind of like cleaning supplies. So I did end up also, you know, making this look somewhat functional, even though obviously that's not how it works in The Sims. It doesn't really matter if you put in functional items. If you're just, you know, making, you need your bath and your sink and your toilet and you're kind of done. You don't actually need all of that decorative stuff, but I did want it to look like a bathroom among the plants. I again probably ended up making this room a little bit too dark, especially right before the end, because I end up putting in like storage cabinets. That is, I also make a dark brown color, so that combined with the sink, the counters, maybe a bit too much brown, so I'm glad I ended up changing that back to white in the end. I wanted to put in a laundry basket at first, like a laundry day basket, because I just really liked how it fit with the aesthetic. But I didn't end up going for that because laundry day baskets, if you have the pack, they're actually functional. So then if you don't have a washing machine, it's going to be really, really annoying to have the laundry basket because it makes your sim drop their clothes in the baskets and on the ground. So I didn't want to do that to anybody who has the pack. So I ended up switching it out to a base game fake laundry basket, and I put a plant on it, which is weird, I realized, but you know what? It's not a functional item anyway, and it was a surface, and basic rules of cottagecore is that if there's a surface, there should be a plant on it. So I put this little flower pot on the laundry basket, which would be super annoying if this was real life, so thank God it's not. I actually do quite like the way that this bathroom has turned out. It looks terrible uploaded to the gallery because the shelves, I kind of cheated all of the plants and items onto the shelf so they're floating in the picture, but it does look good when you're playing the game, like when you download it into your game. I will upload all 3 of these rooms to the gallery, so if you want to download them for your own game, you can find my origin ID in the description. But that is pretty much it for today. Let me know if you think I did the aesthetic justice, and also let me know if there's any other aesthetics that you want me to recreate in the future. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. Click over here for more videos you might enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye everyone!